Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Today we're going to go and take a look at the new free-to-play Android 18 linked state character. She does have the Android 21 alongside her. Unfortunately, in the actual, my data page, we can't get both 20... if we could get both 21 and 18 on there, man, that would be fire. In terms of the build, I mean, this is just a free-to-play character, so I would heavily encourage people to probably go dodge. 18 does have a strong super attack effect here, for sure, right? The 50% attack and defense, and then lowers enemy attack. So, if you really wanted to argue additional, sure. But, again, remember, free-to-play characters, they're just much lower stats and stuff like that. It's difficult for me to recommend anything offensive for this type of character. So, alright, let's go and jump in. This is a character, by the way, that needs to have 5 turns to be fully built up. So we're going to have to go into, a very long fight to sort of see this character kind of with, max power. Alright, so we are here on a rotation. Now, again, one of the big things I should mention right here at the start is that Android 18. Yeah, 21. Android 18, she gets 20% attack and defense with each turn passed up to a maximum of 100%. That is just not good. It's I think that this would be fine if it was 50% each turn up to a max of 100%, right? 20%, dude, please, man. So we're gonna have max stats on turn 10, man. It's I guess against Omega, but can we use this Android 18 with STR Omega being a thing? Probably not. This is also a super class character. If this was a villain, that would also make me a little bit more okay, she could probably work a little bit better against Omega. Let's go over what she does. So, Link set, we have Brainiacs, Twin Terrors, Android Assault, Shocking Speed, Battlefield Diva, Infinite Energy, and Shedding Limit. So she does have the Android 17 and Android 18 links. We could get those activated, of course, with MVP 17, who is very solid. On an Android team, MVP 17 is very solid, right? Where he could be getting a lot of those links activated that could really buff him, like Android Assault and stuff like that. 18 having Brainiacs is good, because she, of course, would share that with the good Android 21s. Villain 21 does not have Brainiacs, but the good versions do have that. So 18 super attack effect, again, is pretty good. 50% attack and defense for 1 turn, and then lower enemy attack. We do like that. Her passive, she gets 100% stats start a turn. She has that 20% attack and defensive build up until 100%, so 5 turns. Yeah, good luck. 50% attack and defense on super attack as well, so the multiplicative buff's looking good there. She gets another 100% attack and defense if there's an Android or crossover ally in the turn, or an Android or crossover enemy. Then she gives Android category allies 1 key 30% to stats, and then another 1 key and 20% defense to characters who are Android crossover characters. So all the Android 21s, or I guess the Android 16 as well. And then starting from the 3rd turn, from her first turn, she starts recovering 18% HP at the start of turn. That could synergize well with all the healing of all these Android characters here. And then she gets 2 key, 180% attack for 5 turns when HP is 80% or less at the start of turn. So we will try and get that as well. Alright, let's just see what we get right here. What is our defense? So we're at 211. She gets 50% defense from her passive super attack effect, and then she gets 50% defense from her actual super attack effect. So, I feel, right now still a little low, but let's see as we sort of move forward here. At some point, we do need to make sure she is below 80%. We didn't trigger that already, did we? Below 80%? I don't think we did. Metamorphosis does heal, what, 10%? No, I think we were above 80% at the start of the turn. Oh, super attack dodge. We love that, sure. 2.7. Obviously, that's not crazy. I guess I don't care at all. She could do a 0 attack stat and still be a really good character, right? It would be more so, because she is a support, which we like. And then, of course, what her defensive ability is. Yeah, I think that's going to be kind of the death sentence for this character. It's like, oh, you know, she gets the 180% attack for 5 turns. Oh, yippee skippy on a free-to-play support type character. That's what we need, 180% attack. Yeah, so good. No, like, if that was, like, you know, 300% defense instead of 180% attack, like, we could be cooking with that. I don't know. I do feel like this 18 could have used a little bit more. We did not have Bulma support up, actually. That was not a rotation where, Bulma was in slot 7, right? So that's good. So now we'll have a little bit of extra sets. I always do, that's good for the showcase, that we can kind of see, like, the first turn without Bulma, and then we'll begin to sort of have Bulma support, as we're moving through the video here. Again, we have to get up to at least turn 10. That's one of the major reasons I chose this fight, by the way, is because we could fight this immortal Zamasu. And the Goku Black and Zamasu, they do enough damage that they probably could hit like 17 or in Android 21 for a decent amount of damage, and we'll be able to fall below 80% HP. Who am I kidding? We're going to lose, man. Like that in Android 21 is going to get hit, and we're done. If that happens, like, I'll take her off the team and put, like, Physical 21 in or something like that. Yeah, in Android 21, she's pretty... She's going to be the next showcase we do. She's pretty bad. Alright, so we have MVP 17 here. This is good. So now this is going to be a strong turn for 18, as we could see. All 7 links activated. It is good that we can get her Android 17 and 18 specific links here with a good Android 17, right? This right here is Twin Terrors. This is 2 key, 5% attack, 5% defense, and 5% dodge. So we'll definitely take that. And then this one down here, this is Infinite Energy. This is 2 key, 5% attack, 5% defense, and then 5% chance to crit. So having all these links up is good. We're up to 300k. I mean, we're looking better. This is like crit. Like, dude, the amount of like support and shit rolling around is unbelievable. This is where like you could see this and be like, oh yeah, she's not that bad. But again, we have Bulma support, 21 support, 17 support, and all 7 links activated. So I mean, needless to say, there's a lot of shit going on here. All right, so let's just do this. Now remember, Rose and Zamasu, their damage is about 700,000. They're in the 700,000. This will hurt 17. Okay. Yeah, well, okay, sure. Well, on our next turn, we will have 18's buff active. Okay, that's fine. We could eat this, right? Yeah, we lived. Oh my god, dude. Okay. Whew, yeah, 17 had not built up at all, and then didn't have his passive up, obviously, so that was a little bit of a silly turn right there. We lived with 14. Look at our HP. Under 600k. Yeah, at 21. I mean, to be fair, we do have 2 free-to-play characters, right? Int 21, and then the physical linked state Android 18. That hurts, having multiple free-to-play characters like that. Okay, so we're definitely not going to die here, so we don't need to worry about that, right? We have a lot of characters here who at least have some defensive ability right here. On the next turn, with the other Android 21, we'll be able to transform, too, to get us some healing, which will be good. Whew, sheesh. 17 took a lot of damage. Okay, but it's good. It's good that he took the damage, because now we'll be able to get Android 18's passive up and see what she looks like with the extra damage. But again, I mean, free-to-play characters doing like, we don't need, like, that's not what makes this 18 good, is the capability of getting all this extra damage. She's a free-to-play character like this is never, ever going to compete with a real, like, summonable units damage, right? Like she's not competing with Limit Breaker Vegito or some shit like that. Who Vegito, remember, is not even he's not even a Dokkan Fest, right? Not even an LR or anything like that. So like they need to lean more into defensive mechanics. Like, why is the Tech Bulma and the STR Yamcha, why are they good free-to-play characters? Because they have defensive mechanics. I mean, I think summonable characters, it's much easier to get away with them being good without needing, you know, guard, damage reduction, dodge. But, like, a free-to-play character, like, come on. Like, this 18, she should have something. I would say dodge makes sense for, like, a free-to-play 18 like this, rather than, like, guard or damage reduction or something like that. Where's the attack break? Hello? Oh, we were hitting Zamasu. Yeah, I was attacking Zamasu. Okay. Oh, no, there's 2 enemies. We can't transform with her. Damn. Okay. Alright, well, 18 now has the big buff up. So that's good for us. Let's definitely get these same type orbs right here so we could heal up a little bit. We definitely need that. Yeah, because we're not going to be able to transform here because of the fact that there's 2 enemies. Remember, 21, she can only transform if there is 1 enemy, unfortunately. This is still a very good turn. We have everything up except for Shattering the Limit. That is the only link we don't have up. And 18 stats continue to grow with each turn, too, by the way. Remember, we have to get to turn 10 for it to be fully built up. 17 is fine this time. Because, I mean, he's fully built up, right, with his damage reduction. He's A-okay, yeah. Look at the difference between... The 17 is a good example, right, of how you can just have massive swings in character performance depending upon just a very small handful of things, right? Now she's up to 5 million. Again, this is with her attack buff up. Yeah, I don't think she's very good. It's not... The support is nice, but I feel like it's like support, but we need there to not be a lot of pressure on her, is what is going to be big about it. I guess what is good for her is that all of the big fights have int phases. Red Zone Goku Black, Red Zone Zamasu, Red Zone Fusion Zamasu, and Omega all have int phase fights. So, int phases in those fights. So that is, like, really massive. Alright, let's go ahead and trigger the support for Bulma. Okay, so we'll get the next 2 rotations, seeing 18 what she looks like on these 2 turns, and then we'll finish up. Alright guys, we ran into some shenanigans, but here we still are. Turn 10, so 18 is going to be fully built up. We got all of our links up. We're at 344. We do have Bulma support. Again, we should be looking good here. So let's see what Android 18 does on turn 10 after she's fully built up. The fact that it takes until turn 10 is not good. However, remember, 18 is only a TUR. So she could easily EZA. And then again, my recommendation would be to cut that down to 2 turns in order to have it, right? So like if she, you know, was able to build up 50% each turn twice, I think that would be an acceptable level. I also would like to see some sort of defensive mechanics be added. I mean, I know she's free to play, but like free to play characters like her, like damage is not the way to go, right? We just want her to, because she could be an effective support unit and link buddy for some of these 21s, right? Like that should be the intended role for her. Not really like, oh, here's this big damage part of her passive. That's not going to do any good for a free-to-play character. Alright, so this is power boosted through linking. Yes, link leveling. Absolutely, Dokkan. Android 18 linked state. Her leader skills crossover category key 3 and 50% to stats. Super attack is the energy wave, which greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage, and then lowers enemy attacks. That's a 50% buff. Good super attack effect, I would say, for a free-to-play character. Her passive skill, rising linking rate. So she gets 100% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then she builds up 20% attack and defense with each turn passed, up to 100%. So again, 5 turns. I mean, that's just really tough. The only difficult fight where you might get that would be against Omega, but I would not run this 18 with STR Omega being a thing. No way. Then 18 gets 50% attack and defense from performing a super attack, which is good. She gets 100% attack and defense if there's an android or crossover ally in the turn, or an android or crossover enemy that we're fighting. Then she gives android category characters 1 key and 30% attack and defense. And then if they're crossover, they get an extra 1 key and 20% defense as well. Then starting from the 3rd turn from her entry turn, She recovers 18% HP at the start of the turn, which is solid. And then finally, she gets 2 ki and 180% attack for 5 turns if HP is under 80% at the start of the turn. Then her link set is Brainiacs, Twin Terrors, Android Assault, Shocking Speed, Battlefield Diva, Infinite Energy, and Shattering the Limit. 12 ki multiplier is 140%. And then our girl has a few category teams here that she, of course, is a part of. Although with her support, we do want to really gear her around Android characters, right? So she is, of course, on the crossover category team. We also have her over here on the Peppy Gal team. More options for Peppy Gals is always a good thing, so we love that. Then she's on the Androids category team as well, sure. We also have her on the Sibling Bond category team. That's a team I always like more options added to this, right? Like, you know, we could get like missions or Super Battle Road stages, you know, designated around this category. More options is always going to be a good thing. Then there's also the Worthy Rival category that she is a part of also. Then she's on Battle of Wits, decent category, gotten a lot of options. And then finally, she is down here on the Bond of Parent and Child category team. Massive, just roster of characters, right? So let me know what you guys think of the new free-to-play Linked State Android 18. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.